Sorry.
That was very sweet. Thank you. Go on.
It's the 1940s, a time when women were being called into the factories to do the job that he left behind, whilst the men were suffering greatly under the toils of war and looking to anything for morale. And in America, it was also the birth of the pin-up girl. And today, I'm going to be spending my day as a 1940s Halloween pin-up. But before I do so, I want to talk a little bit about the history of the pin-up and how it came about. In its simplest form, a pin-up is a photo or poster of a person considered to have glamorous qualities. And what makes them different from regular raunchy photographs is that they were commercial. But before we deep dive into their history, I had a few reservations about bringing this flirty and friendly concept to life. I thought long and hard before making this video of spending the day as a 1940s Halloween pin-up, because although the outer shell may appear very, very glamorous, it is unmistakably interwoven with the male gaze. And actually, pretty much all of the pin-up artists were men. But the birth of the pin-up also has an interesting relationship with women's sexual revolution. But there was one element of it that did jar me slightly. Well, there were a few bits and bobs, but this one particularly. A lot of the pin-up models, the young women in the 40s and 50s, would have been aspiring actresses, desperate to break onto the big screen and be in motion picture, just like the likes of Judy Garland, Hedy Lamarr, Lauren Bacall, Marilyn Monroe, of course, Audrey Hepburn. And so they would follow strict diet regimes to keep their figure. And bearing in mind, we were already under rationing. So the dieting was already strict. But some of these women would only consume 500 calories a day. And I know that Marilyn allegedly enjoyed having 2 raw eggs mixed with warm milk for breakfast. And then she'd have a steak with like peas and mash for her lunch. And then maybe an ice cream sundae as a treat. And black coffee was also a huge thing to try and curb your appetite, as well as cigarettes, supplements, and also alcohol, which we already know from some of our favourite starlets that we still know and love today. I cannot with the black coffee, I just cannot. But one of the actresses that I think I can get behind is Sophia Loren, who said that everything you see is owed to spaghetti. And that's because she just couldn't give up her love for pasta. And now that is a woman after my own heart. Also, it's important to point out that the pin-up era is very much American, and all of my research is based on the American history of the pin-up, because there's not much about it in British history, because it was very much an American initiative. Anyway, let's dive in, and whilst I do, I'm going to paint my nails in the typical recommended way for the war effort. And please forgive my hands, I have eczema which flares up with stress, so my hands aren't looking their best at the moment. And a quick side note, if anybody is painting their nails in a typical 1940s style, nails had become less glamorous due to the changes in daily routines of women and the rationing of beauty products. Women were expected to keep up appearances for their own morale and those around them, but it was recommended that nails shouldn't be too garish or flashy. This 1942 article reads, "These hands knitting for an American soldier symbolise all the feminine hands engaged in countless phases of active work. Loading munitions, welding rivets, driving motor trucks, performing any of the vital victory jobs. This is your cue to feature hand massage, corrective manicures and other hand and nail beautifiers to help keep these war-working hands in a ladylike condition. Fingernails tapered to a medium length and beautifully rounded are most efficient for hands at work. Nails are covered all over with a conservative polish, no moons and no tips for stronger wear and longer service." Anyway, let's get back to pin-ups. From the world of burlesque in the late 1800s, we then had Charles Gibson, who created the Gibson Girl, drawing the girls that he observed in a particular style in the 1890s. America loved the Gibson Girl, and she appeared in many magazines, newspapers, household goods and decor, and so on. And one of his most notorious models was Evelyn Nesbit. This was also the birth of first-wave feminism, or the New Woman. And many believe that the Gibson Girl represented the New Woman, but as Gibson described her as politically enlightened but uninvolved, this sometimes contradicted itself. And then in America during World War I, soldiers would have keepsakes in their uniform to remind them of home and distract them from the horrors of war, often pictures of sweethearts, celebrities, or more raunchier pictures. They also experienced, during their service, European culture, which had vastly different ideas about modesty and women in general. For example, Miss Fernande. And then came the flapper girl, potentially influenced by jazz music, the limitless prosperity of a post-war period, or women being allowed to vote. She was a fashionable young woman intent on enjoying herself and flaunting conventional standards of behaviour. However, towards the late 20s and into the 30s, we had prohibition laws come into play to ban the consumption and selling of alcohol, as certain groups wanted to see an end to debauchery society. But we also had burlesque artists like Gypsy Rose Lee advertising their shows via business cards, which people would often pin up on their walls. But as the Great Depression settled into America, there was a stern pull for women's fashion to revert to the stern formality seen prior to the 20s. But women enjoyed the freedom of dress and resisted the push to bring back strict dress codes. We were also experiencing the golden age of Hollywood, but even that was censored thanks to the Hays Code, a self-imposed industry set of guidelines for all the motion pictures that prohibited profanity, suggestive nudity, graphic or realistic violence, and sexual persuasions, etc. So with the banning of burlesque and suggestive content in motion pictures, how on earth did we get pin-ups? Well, in World War II, soldiers needed a morale boost, a reminder of home and what they were fighting for, and there were already plenty of victory-style propaganda for both men and women, from military stage shows to Rosie the Riveter. And then US military soldiers, due to the distinct lack of femininity on the front line, were provided with 9 million copies of the men's magazine Esquire, depicting colourful illustrations and photographs of beautiful women in raunchy outfits. Men would tear their favourite images out and pin it up in their barracks. These women were also known as cheesecake, the male equivalent being beefcake, and pin-up girls became a symbol of joy against the grim realities of war. They represented the smiling faces back home that soldiers were fighting to protect and became a soldier's good luck charm. And this is why they would often paint them on planes as a source of good luck. Some notable actresses who also posed for pin-up photos were Jane Russell, Jane Mansfield, Bette Davis, Mamie Van Doren, and of course Marilyn Monroe. And like many incredible actresses of the past, I too am stepping in front of the camera, but thank goodness my experience will vastly differ from the golden age of Hollywood and the many young women desperate to jumpstart their careers. For example, rather than seeing this as a career boost for an aspiring actress or starlet to be painted and published on a Gil Elvgren calendar, for example, as many women in the 40s would have, I have the pleasure of heading to the Pinup Academy, a female-driven company to work with the stunning October Divine. Honestly, we couldn't have hoped for a spookier name. But why do I want to pose as a pinup? Well, you see, a year ago I attempted to recreate one of Elvgren's famous works, The Pinup Witch, which many believe was modelled by Ruth Dusty Anderson, an American actress and model who worked in the 40s as a World War II pinup. But it was actually modelled by Marilyn Hanold, an American model and actress in the 50s and 60s. But this led me to see Dusty's witch photographs, and I fell in love with their feminine zest and charm. I even dressed as a version of a 40s witch for a recent video, spending Halloween like it's the 1940s. And so I really do feel like I've come full circle. From trying out a cute vintage look in my bedroom a year ago, to fully understanding the journey of pinup, its relationship with women's sexual revolution, and now spending the day as a pinup girl myself. But how could I possibly hope to recreate these gorgeous images without the right attire?
So I'm so excited for this bit, and that is why I have donned my absolute favourite starlet-like vintage robe. Honestly, I love this thing. I feel so glamorous in this and dramatic and like the lady of the manor, and I thought it was the perfect thing to wear as I opened a special little gift from a very special company. What I have in my hand is what I'm going to wear for the Halloween pinup photo shoot, and it has been kindly gifted to me from the amazing vintage fashion and lingerie company What Katie Did. And before you ask, no, this video is not sponsored by What Katie Did or the Pinup Academy. And I'm just so excited to take a look because they have been far too generous. But what is really cool about this experience that I'm having in 2024 versus what would have been the reality in the 40s and 50s is that I have been able to select exactly what I want to wear and what I feel comfortable in, which likely wouldn't have been the story for many young women. So do you guys want to see what I picked? But first of all, let's have a little look at this booklet they've sent me because I love that. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, all these gorgeous, vintage, glamorous women. This is amazing. Honestly, this company is filled with so many beautiful vintage pieces and also period appropriate underwear as well if you're ever looking for that, including stockings and corsets and gorgeous dresses as well. I already own a What Katie Did dress that I wore for a wedding last year. Honestly, I love their vibe so very much. Oh, no way! You can actually cut out your own fashion doll. And if you're anything like my mum, then you had hours of fun as a kid playing paper ladies, which were basically cardboard cutouts of ladies, and you could interchange their outfit. Honestly, the hours of entertainment my mum got from playing paper ladies, and I guess now it's my turn. And of course, they sent me a Halloween themed postcard with 2 more gorgeous women posing for a Halloween themed photo shoot, which I can't hope to compete with, but I will do my best. Okay, let's have a look. Come on, Hannah. Okay, here we go, here we go. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, so this is a gorgeous 1930s inspired black robe. I'm not confident enough to wear lingerie for this shoot. I wanted to feel comfortable and I wanted it to be, family friendly content. So I will not be posing in my lingerie. Instead, I wanted to go for something that's a little bit spooky themed. And I saw this on their website and I thought, it was absolutely perfect. The model that was wearing it on the website had cinched in her waist with a corset around the robe, and I thought that look was just really, really nice. So that's what I'm going to try and recreate. But this looks very floaty, very dramatic. Okay, on to the next one. This is why I love modern day vintage clothing companies, because if you tried to order a vintage corset today, their waists were minuscule. Like my nan, when she was growing up, she had the tiniest waist. I remember once I tried on her wedding dress when I was a lot younger. I might have been a teenager, and it would not fit, not even a little bit. But it's nice that we have the option now to still wear true replica vintage pieces, because the true vintage probably wouldn't fit us in this day and age. So this corset I'm very excited about. Oh my gosh, wow, that is well made. It's pink on the inside. To the untrained eye, this is quite a raunchy little number, but as I say, I'm wearing this around the robe, so it's not going to be quite as raunchy as some of the true pin-up photos or illustrations you may have seen over the years, but I think it will look really, really good. And even if you wanted to wear this under a garment just to cinch everything in and make you feel a bit more pulled together, it would be perfect for that. I hope it fits. I said to the lovely lady from the marketing team, I said, you've got my waist measurements correct, haven't you? And she was like, oh yeah, we always go a couple of inches below, so don't worry. I'm not worrying. I trust them implicitly. This will be fine. And the last one is, of course, their signature product, their stockings, their seamed stockings. This is what started them off, their stocking range. They just do them really well. So I'm very excited to have a look at what they've sent me, because I've never been disappointed with their stockings. They never rip. They never snag, they never rip. So even if I'm at a vintage event all day, if I wear cheap stockings, I'll always get holes in the toes, which is really annoying, or they'll fray, or they'll rip. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, I love that they're black. That makes me feel really comfortable. I've always been a girl that enjoys wearing a lot of black, so I really like that they're really dark. The whole outfit's going to be so spooky and witchy, and I've also got my witch's hat to go with it, and whatever the Pinup Academy will provide, because October Divine assures me that she's got an entire dressing room of props for us to enjoy. So this is going to be... it's going to be really exciting. And like I said, I'm really lucky because all of the people that I've worked with for this video so far have been female, which just makes me personally feel a bit more at ease. I feel like I'm very much in safe hands and I'm in control. And that's the most important thing. And that's why the Pinup Academy does what they do so beautifully because you are in control. It's an opportunity for you to go and have a photo shoot, have a bit of a confidence boost, you know, just feel good about yourself, but on your terms. And that's why I'm wearing a floor-length robe, which pretty much covers me from head to toe, but it's still going to be in the style of that classic pinup. Thank you so much what Katie did. I cannot wait to wear these to the photo shoot, and I really hope you enjoy the results. So we finally managed to get out of our glamorous sleepwear, and I have donned my very cute Halloween themed jumper with some high-waisted trousers, just to be nice and comfortable for the journey. And now we are going to tackle the pin-up makeup. And I don't really have a plan for this. I just want it to be fun and flirty and bright and zesty. So we're just going to see how this goes. I was about to Google images of pin-up girls to have inspiration for the makeup when I remembered that these lovely ladies are just sat on my fridge. So we're going to use them for a bit of inspiration. I think I'm going to go for something similar to this young woman. Lots of blush, lots of lip. Okay, that's definitely added some colour to the face. Now, for eyeliner, I really want to do a small wing, which technically wasn't a massive thing in the 1940s, although you would occasionally see it, like with this lovely lady here. You can see a slight wing on her eye there, and that's what I want, just something really subtle to emphasise the eyes. Just something small and subtle, just to kind of, you know what I mean? I think it adds a lot to the eye, and it's very delicate. Now let's see if I can make them match. Oh, it went wrong, but nobody panic. Somehow I got that to work and they actually match really well. I don't know how that happened, to be honest. Now to get that porcelain perfect pin-up face. I can see some imperfections that I really wish weren't there today, but to be honest, nobody on this planet is pin-up perfect. Not even the pin-up models themselves were pin-up perfect, because the artist would retouch them after the photos were taken, heavily retouch them, and also change some of their measurements. I guess just to get a bit more of an extreme feminine look. Okay, let's add some liquid blush. I'm just going for that kind of very sun-kissed, kind of dewy look. Okay, the blush is blushing. It looks way crazier in person than it does on camera. Doesn't look too bad on camera. That's quite reassuring. Just kind of blend it all in. I'm happy. I'm happy with the way this is turning out. This is cute. I feel cute. Ugh, so much packaging these days. Makes me want to cry. Brush out these brows. So they are my completely natural brows. And if I'm doing this properly, it would have been natural brows. I believe. I don't think there would have been like eyebrow filler as much as there is today, but I'm going to bring some just in case I change my mind. Okay, and lastly, it's my eyelashes. And pro tip, always curl your eyelashes before you start your makeup, because if you've done all your eye makeup and then you have to curl your eyelashes, you're going to rub your eye makeup off and it's really annoying. So curl your eyelashes first. And I always use like 3 different types of mascaras. Now with my hair, the curls never go right for me. Like I can never do that classic pin-up look. I guarantee it still won't come out the way that I want it to. But October has assured me that she will help me with my hair, so everything should be fine, but I've curled it anyway, just in case. Like I say, do not use this as a tutorial. Oh, one left. Because this never goes right for me. While that all sets just for a moment, I'm gonna go pack my stuff and get ready, and then hopefully I can set off.
And so although I'm not taking a train ride from Los Angeles to Elvgren's home in St. Paul, Minnesota, I will be recreating a pin-up witch, but my way. And although certainly not destined to be a raunchy photo shoot, I hope to hang on to the integrity of pin-ups as a morale boost, a vibrant smiling face, and a bit of harmless vintage fun.
So I think I've just arrived, and I have to be a bit careful because October likes to keep the location private for the safety of her clients. I'm somebody that doesn't really like driving places that they don't know, but the drive wasn't too bad, actually. I'm pretty proud of myself, but yeah, I'm just going to have a quick breather and then go in and meet her.
October's studio was absolutely amazing. It was like stepping into another world, and I was enthralled by the set design of each individual room. It really did transport you, and not least this very kitsch retro kitchen, which was a personal favourite of mine. She has lovingly collected so many vintage pieces to really bring these sets to life. And if you're worried about what to wear, then don't be, because she's also got a fully kitted out dressing room. Honestly, this place was a treasure trove. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Just look at these gorgeous retro televisions. I wanted to take every single one of them home. And then there was a coffin. Just a random coffin. I mean, you can't get spookier than that, can you? And because October knew that I wanted to do something spooky in a pin-up witch style, this was the set that she created for me. Oh my goodness, how incredible does that look? Honestly, I feel like I've come home. What I loved about the Pinup Academy is it wasn't just turning up for a photo shoot, but it was an entire experience, and October made sure that I was pampered. And so the first thing we did as we got to know each other is sort out my hair. And of course, the vision was 1940s starlet. It was just so nice to feel so pampered and feel like the centre of attention. Plus, I can never, ever get my hair right, and so I was excited to see how this would turn out. She's an absolute pro, and anybody that comes to the Pinup Academy will get their hair done by her, and believe me, it is so worth it. Naturally, before speaking to October about her company, I had to have a dance in the very kitsch retro kitchen, before realising that all the food on the countertop was fake. Seriously, how on earth does she make these squidgy cupcakes? Oh, they really did look good enough to eat. But no brain, don't do it. I honestly could have spent all day here.
Tell me about the birth of the Pinup Academy, because I tell you I am happily obsessed.
The Pinup Academy was set up in 2012. It was a case of me doing pinup modelling, and there was nowhere else in the UK really that had any studios. We used to go to people's homes that were vintage style and do shoots and things like that. Or you'd be in a corner of a room with a couple of props. And I had a big space at home, so I was like, do you know what? We'll set up a studio. My husband used to do the photography, and I didn't have a clue how to use a camera. So he would photograph me, and then after a while it was just a case of, do you know what? I want to do this for other people. I used to have a lot of women messaging me because I was a model saying, where can I go and do this? Who can do it for me? So I set up the studio, built all the sets.
I have to say, love the colour scheme of this one. Very akin to my own. I think it's absolutely like just so kitsch and fabulous. I can't believe you used to orchestrate all of this out of your garage.
Yeah, it was a task. But when I first started, obviously I didn't have as much stuff, so it wasn't too bad. And then over the years, it's just collected more and more.
And why should people experience a pinup photo shoot? Why should people spend the day as a pinup?
It's fun.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. It's fun. Pinup's fun, and it's for everybody. It's not just for a specific age, size, gender. Anybody can do it, and it's a fun day. It's not serious at all, and you can go from whatever style you want with vintage. You can do fully clothed.
Yeah.
You can strip down to lingerie. Yeah. It opens the door for lots of different things.
You've reclaimed it. You've reclaimed pinup and made it an inclusive space.
Absolutely.
I think that's absolutely fab. All of your sets are. It's like being transported into another world. It's like an experience, isn't it, the minute you walk through the doors here?
The Pinup Academy Museum.
The Pinup Academy Museum. And like I said to you earlier, if nothing else, new side hustle, vintage escape rooms.
Yeah. I love coming to work.
Oh.
I have a job that I absolutely adore. I look forward to coming to work every day, and I know that the majority of my customers that haven't done a photo shoot or anything like this before I know they're going to leave being happy. And majority of them go, I'm definitely doing this again. I was so nervous when I arrived, and I've had such a fantastic day now. I don't know what I was worried about. So.
You clearly have creative flair. Like
sets,
the set design. How come you knew about set design? It's like a little movie.
Well, I don't. I just kind of wing it. So normally when a client comes, I'll say, have you got a specific thing in mind? Mm-hmm. Is there a specific piece of furniture you like?
Yeah.
And if there is, I just move everything into whichever set they want, build it how with the pieces they want, and then just go from there.
Whether they want retro futurism or spooky.
Yeah.
And stay with spooky.
We're doing spooky today, and then next week I'm doing some Christmas ones as well. So.
How exciting! Yeah, because Christmas is here apparently.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I like Shirley Temple.
These days, beauty standards are just as prevalent, and there's many parts of me that don't fit into the ideal Elvgren look of a high forehead, eyes set wide apart, small ears, pert nose, great hair, nice legs and hands, and a pinched-in waist. But what I can offer is grace and poise, enthusiasm and an expressive face, which he also said were desirable for these photos. Thankfully, with the help of October at the Pinup Academy, it's clear that there is no mould to fit into, but rather an opportunity to celebrate femininity in a safe environment and give yourself a confidence boost as well.
I'll take the clips out once we're finished. Once you're ready.
What? No way! I have never been able to get my hair to do that.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy? I don't think so. Wow! You're a sorceress!
Magic.
What? Oh, no way! How? Oh, never looked this good again in my life. That's brilliant. You're just a genius.
Thanks.
That's just not going anywhere, is it?
No.
Wow.
I try and put a lot of spray on, so you can put pomade and stuff on, but I think spray should be enough to hold it.
I have never been able to achieve this with my hair, and I've tried many, many times.
Bit of back combing, good set.
Okay. What should I do?
Anything you want.
And then I realised something as I stepped onto that set and the studio lights turned on. I don't know how to model. I had absolutely no idea what to do with my body or my hands or my face, but thankfully October was there to coach me through the entire thing. And she was not short of ideas. And very soon we really got into our flow and we were having the best time. Like, I felt so safe and comfortable and like I was in complete control. And of course I felt very, very spooky. But it was when I donned the witch's hat that I really felt my vision start to come to life. And I truly felt like a 40s model doing a fun and flirty Halloween shoot. Just like Dusty Anderson and just like Marilyn Hanold. This was honestly one of the best experiences I've had in a while. It was so much fun, and working with October was a genuine honour and privilege. Like, she is a pro at what she does, and because of her, she made my pinup dreams come true.
I don't want to take this off.